So yeah, guys, we're gonna be solving these simple equations now as to get started, to kickstart basically, just to, what can I say, to rejuvenate your knowledge of, to you to have flashbacks of what's happening basically, because I know that some of you might have forgotten how to factorize and all that stuff, right? So basically, we're just gonna start off with our start off with these simple equations, and as time goes by, we just gonna progress. We're just gonna progress, and I want everyone to be with me on this journey, because if you do not understand something in class and then you don't understand it here, like what's the point really? So you need to understand this stuff. Things that you don't understand in class, you can ask here, and all that on all questions related to mathematics, basically. Right. So we're given the first question is 2x squared plus 3x minus 5 is equals to what? It is equals to brackets x minus 1 is equals to brackets x minus 1. Let me see. Let me show. Okay. Yeah. So basically we have this expression here. We have this expression. It's 2x squared plus 3x minus 5 is equals to x minus 1, open bracket, x minus 1 close bracket, open bracket, x minus 2 close bracket. So basically, how do you go about this question? Okay, so the first thing you need to know is that, but the left hand side is equal to the right hand side, right? And what I suggest you should do, the most important thing that you should do in this concept is your first, what is to first expand this bracket, right? The first thing you need to do is to expand this bracket. So how do you go about that? So let's do it. It's 2x squared plus 3x minus 5 is equals to what? So when you're expanding the bracket, what do? You first what? You first multiply out, right? You're just gonna say x multiplied by x, right? Then it's just gonna say x multiplied by minus 2, right? So what's the answer? What's the answer to that? So the simple answer is x multiplied by x is gonna be what? It's gonna be x squared. X times minus 2, it's what? It's minus 2x. Right. The same thing you did here, you're gonna do it here with this minus 1. So it's minus 1 multiplied by x. It's gonna be what? Minus x. Minus 1 multiplied by minus 2. We know that a negative multiplied by a positive equals to what? A negative multiplied by a negative equals to what? It equals to a positive. So it's gonna be plus 2. Right. So we have this simplified equation where from this format to this format, right? Moving right along. So we're just gonna say 2x squared, just gonna bring this equation down. 2x squared plus 3x minus 5 is equals to, right? So now we say that you have minus 2x minus x, right? These are like terms, right? Because they have the same power. So they say what you do now, you just simplify them. So it's gonna be x squared minus 2x minus x. It's gonna be what? Minus 3x. And then what? Plus 2. Right. So now you solve what? We solved the hurdle that was in the way. Now what you need to do? We see that, but we see that on the left hand side we have x squared, and also in the right hand side we have x squared, right? So let's simplify. Let's simplify. Let's simplify that. So it's gonna be 2x squared, right? So when x jumps the equal sign, what does it do? We change the signs, right? From being a positive to being a negative. So it's gonna be minus what? It's gonna be minus x squared plus 3x. 3x here it was what? Plus 3x, right? Then when with this minus 3x, when it jumps the equal sign, it becomes what? Becomes plus 3. So it's gonna be plus 3x, and then we have a constant minus 5, and then when this minus 2 what jumps the equal sign, it's what? It's gonna be minus 2, right? It's equals to 0. So simplifying, minus 2x squared minus x squared is gonna be x squared. 3 plus 3 is gonna be 6x, and then minus 5, then minus 5 minus 2, that's gonna be what? Minus 7, right? We're not yet done, but we're getting to the answer slowly but surely. So what do you do now? We need to factorize what? Looking for the value of x. We're not looking for the value of x squared, or we're not supposed to leave it in this expression. We're not supposed to leave it to this expression, but we are what? We are close to our answer. So what do you do now? Now we need to factorize. You don't know how to factorize. You ask yourself, now we have what? Now we have 7. What you look? You look at these two. You look at the what? You look at the constant, and you look at the what? You look at the what? You look at the coefficient of the x squared, right? Now you need to ask yourself, which multiples of 7 that when you add together or when you multiply will give you what? Will give you this coefficient, will give you this 6, right? So we know that 1 times 7 is what? It's 7, right? But when you say 7 minus 1, it gives us what? It gives us 6, right? So uh so right. mm, I'm just creating a space, okay, so that we can do our calculations correctly in one box, because I don't like stuff that's dirty and stuff, right? So now we're in this format. Now we're in this format, right? What do we need to do? So what you need to do here is that you have what? As I've said, you have what? You have minus 7. You need to look for the multiples of 7 that when you add or multiply, when you add or subtract, will give you what? Will give you a coefficient of 6. So it's gonna be what? It's gonna be x what? X plus 7. Because why? We need our 6 to be positive. And what? And x minus 1. Right? Because 7 minus 1 gives us 6. Right? 7 minus 1 gives us what? Will give us this, that 6. So yeah, this is our answer. So it's gonna be what? X plus 7 bracket x minus 1 is equals to 0. Right? Therefore your answer is going to be x is equals to minus 7 or x is equals to 1. Right? So this is your full answer. This is your correct answer. Right? But now how do you know if your answer is correct or not? Right? You need to do the what? You need to do the checking first. How to check? You need to check if your answer is correct or not, because you might be wrong or you might have made a mistake. So basically what you do, you say what? You take any of your what? Any of your values of x that you have got. So let's take for example x is equals to what? X is equals to 1. Right? So you need to be able to plot this what? You need to plot this coordinate, or you need to be able to plot this value of x back into the equation. And when you plot it back to the equation, it needs to speak to your correct answer, because what we're doing here, we're proving that the right hand side is equal to the left hand side. So what we're trying to do now, we're trying to prove that the value of x that you've got here, when you substitute it in our original equation, which is this equation, it will give us that the answer is 0. Right? So let's check. So we said the equation was what? The equation is what? Is x squared. You're gonna take that one because it's the most simplified one. X plus x plus 6x minus 7 is equals to 0. So what you're gonna do now, just gonna in the value in the place of x, you put 1, because we've already found our value of x is equal to 1. Right? So it's plus 6, and then put 1 there, because the value of x is 1, minus 7 is equals to 0. Right? So 1 squared is going to be 1 plus 6 minus 7 is equals to 0. So it's going to be 7 minus 7 ish. Guys, I'm new to taking notes, so please be patient with me. I'm new to taking notes digitally. So it's 7 minus 7 is equals to 0. So 7 minus 7, 0 is equals to 0 basically. So our this value is correct, right? So if this value is correct, meaning that the other one is correct too, because these are what these are the coordinates basically. These are the coordinates. Without this value, we wouldn't have gotten what? We wouldn't have gotten minus 7. You would have got something else. If we had gotten minus 1, we probably would have gotten something else because we factorized like correctly. Right. So yeah, this is our first question. This is our first question. Our second question. Let's do our second question here. Let's do our second question here. Okay, what can I do now? Okay, let me see back. Um, okay, scroll down. Take that off. Take it here. Hey guys, digital notes taking is fun, but you know, I'm new to it, so please be patient. So, okay, I've not highlighted everything. What am I doing? Yeah, it's right. So we need to drag it here. Yeah. So now let's do our second question. Our second question says what? It says choose B. It's 6x squared plus 5 is equals to 17x. Right. So what do you do again? You see that the 17 is lonely that side, and we need to what you need to one expression because these are polynomials, right? So we need to take what? Take the 17 back here this side. 6x squared minus 17x plus 5 is equals to 0. Right. So what do you do? So the first stuff, the first thing that you do is that you look for the what I said, as I said before. Sorry. I said before, when factorizing, what you look at first, you look at what? At the constant, and you look at what? You look at the coefficient of x squared, right? And then you look at what? And then you look at what? At the what? At the coefficient of x, right? So now what's the question? Then we need to find what the question is that we need to find the values of what? Of 5, the multiples of 5 and 6 that when you multiply or no, when you add or subtract, they will give you what? They will give you 17. Right. So let's draw our box here. Let's draw a box of calculations. Let's have a box of calculations. Okay, so basically now, so how we're gonna go about it? So the value, so now we're gonna look at what? You're gonna look at the values of 6. Okay, now we're gonna look at values of 6 and what? And 5. So it's gonna be, the values of 6 is gonna be 3 and 2, right? So, and the values of 5 is gonna be what? It's 5 and 1, right? So when you multiply 5, when you multiply 5 and 3, you get what? You get 15, right? You get 15. But now if you get 15, you're looking for 17 was. So what we're gonna do, we're just gonna say, so it's gonna be 3x, and then this is gonna be 2x, right? Because you say, when you say 2 multiplied by what? By 3 is gonna be 15, right? And then 15 plus 2. So what you do now, it's gonna be minus and minus, right guys? So that's that. So that's that. So So yeah, let's check our answer. So it's gonna be 3x minus 1, 2x minus 5. Right. So let's check if our answer is correct. So 3 times 2, so it's 6x squared. Right. We need to be able to get back to our answer, right? So it's gonna be 3 times 5, it's gonna be what? Minus 15x. So minus 2 multiplied by minus 1 multiplied by 2x is gonna be minus 2x. Then minus 1 times 5 is gonna be what? Plus 5. Right. So it's gonna be 6x squared minus 17x plus 5. So basically we are what? We are on our original answer, which means we are correct. So let's write it out. Let's write it out. So it's gonna be 3x minus 1 and 2x minus 5 is equals to 0. Right. So guys, this is simple as that. This is in rocket science yet. So we need, that's why I'm saying that you need to be able how to do these calculations. They are very easy, guys. You should be getting full marks in a grade 12 exams in these questions, in question 1, because these are basic simple questions that you need to get full marks on. Question 1 in your paper 1 should be full marks, guys. Like literally, it should be full marks. So basically what you do from here, what you do, we're just gonna solve for what? You're gonna solve for x. It's gonna be 3x minus 1 is equals to 0, or 2x minus 5 is equals to 0, and then it's gonna be what? 3x is equals to 1, and then you're gonna divide by 3 because you're looking for the value of what? You're looking for the value of x. So x is gonna be equals to 1/3, or x is gonna be equals to what? Here it's gonna be 2x is equals to 5, because it's minus 5. When it jumps the equal sign, it's gonna be positive. So it's gonna be x is equals to 5/2. Right. So this is our answer. This is our answer. Right. So how do you know that your answer is correct? So we need to do what? You need to do the checking. Right. So let me write our expression here, our first expression. So our first expression was what? It was 6x squared minus 17x plus 5 is equals to 0. Alright, so we're gonna take to check our answer. Let's see, check. So it's checking time. We're gonna use what? X is equals to 5/2. Alright, so on in that expression, as we did before, what you're gonna do is just in the place of x, you're gonna put 5/2. Alright, so it's gonna be 5/2 squared minus 17 5/2 plus 5 is equals to 0. Right. So what I'm gonna do from the step, just gonna say it's gonna be what? It's gonna be 6/25/4 minus 17/25/4 plus 5 is equals to 0. So how many times does 6 go into 4? So this goes 3 times, and this goes what? 2 times. So it's 3 times 5 times 3 is gonna be 75. 75 over what? Over 2 minus calculator now. 70 multiplied by 25. 70 multiplied by 25. is 425. 425 over 4 plus 5 is equals to 0. I'm not sure about my answer. I think maybe I made a mistake. 7 over 5 then 5 divided by 2 minus 425 over 4 plus 5. I think there's something I might have done wrong. Let's go back. Let's go back because the answer doesn't equate to 0. Let's check here. What did I do wrong? Okay, we have 2x. This is 6x squared. Then 3 times what times 5? It's gonna be minus 15. Minus 15 minus 7 minus 15 minus 2, it's minus 17. Correct. And then 1 times that is gonna be what? It's gonna be plus 5. So my answer is correct. The factorization is correct. So it's gonna be plus 1 over 3, and then this is gonna be plus what? That minus 5 here in this case it's gonna be what? It's gonna be plus 5, and then it's gonna x over 5. X is equal to 5 over 2. So what did I do wrong? Let's check on my on my plotting. So it's 6 times 5 because it's 6 squared, right? So 6 squared is equal to what? 25. Oh yeah, I see where I went wrong now. I see where I went wrong. 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 So instead of saying 5 over 2, I also squared this 5. I'm making it 25, which is wrong. Which is wrong. Which is wrong, right? So it's gonna be 5 now. Over what? Over 2. Because what? Because we're saying here x squared, and this only applies here in this case, not in this case too. All right. So let's just erase that. You see, guys, it's very important to be able to know how to what, to be able to know how to check your answer, because if you feel like there's some discrepancy, like any form of your answer is incorrect, you can be able to see. All right, so let's double check again. We said what? We said the 3 times what? 25 is going to be 75 over what? Over 2, and then 17 times 5. Now it's going to be 17 multiplied by 5. It's going to be equals to 85. So this is what? Minus 85 over 2 plus 5 is equals to 0. Right, let's check. So now it's going to be what? 75 minus 85, which is going to be equals to 10. Let's expand the bracket again. Let's expand the square again, I mean. So now it's what? I'm new to this, guys. Digital note taking, it's not easy. So it's 75 minus what? 85. It's gonna be minus what? Minus 10 over 2. Alright. Because we're keeping the denominators are the same, so it's easy. Plus 5 is equals to 0. Right. So it's gonna be what? It's gonna be minus 5 plus 5 is equals to 0. Right. So let's finish it here off here. So minus 5 plus 5, minus 5 plus 5, it's 0, right? So minus 5 plus 5, it's 0, is equals to 0. So meaning that our answer is actually correct. our answer is actually correct. Yep. So let's go to the second question. Let's do number C. Let's do number C. Okay, or maybe let's do number D. Number D looks quite more interesting. Number two, let's do number D for the last one. Number D looks quite more interesting. Right, how to solve this type of question, because here there's a fraction. You see, everything seems quite daunting, to be honest. So how are we gonna go about solving this question? Let's increase the space. Let's increase the spacing. Yeah, let's see if we increased the space efficiently. Let's increase more space because I don't have space to write. Yeah, let's go full screen. Then yeah, let's copy this down. Okay, yeah, let's do it. Yeah, it's fine. So number D. This is the last one basically. It's gonna be what? It's 21 over 2x minus 2 over x plus 3 is equals to 0. Minus 2 plus is equals to what? It's equals to 0. Hey guys, this case disappears. So what do you do now? In this case, what you do, you look for what? You look for the lowest common denominator, right? Which is what? Which is 2x plus 3. This is our lowest common denominator in this form. Let me write with the red pen. This disappears a lot. It's 2x. This is our lowest common denominator in this case. It's 2x plus 3, right? So how are we gonna go about solving the problem? So it's gonna be 21, right, over 21 over 2x minus 2 over x plus 3 is equals to 0. Is it equals to 0 or equal to 1? It's equals to 0, right? So what do? As I've said, you look at the lowest common denominator, which is that, right? And then you take the lowest common denominator. You multiply the numerator. You multiply the numerator of this, and also you multiply the numerator of that. So how are you gonna go about that? So it's easy. So now this is the lowest common denominator, right? Because we see that these two, like can't see, we don't, what can I say? We do not know the lowest common denominator of what? Of variables, right? Because these are variables. So what do? You multiply them, and then you multiply these two, take the product of these two, and then you multiply the what? The numerator. So it's gonna be 21. It's gonna be what? X plus 3, and then what? Multiply by 2x over 2x, and then it's gonna be what? It's gonna be minus 2 multiplied by what? X plus 3 multiplied by 2x, right, over x plus 3. I've used a lot of space. Shit. Guys, I promise you, our second lesson is gonna be much more easier than this. This gives me hurdles, really. Digital note taking. So it's gonna be 21 x plus 3, and then multiply by 2x over 2x minus 2x plus 3 over 2x over x plus 3, which is close to 0. So basically what you do on the left is what you do on the right. So you're gonna have to multiply here, this 0 by what? This 0 by x plus 3 and what, and 2x. Basically that's that, because what you do on the left you need to do what on the right hand side, because if there was a constant there things would have changed. X plus 3, 2x, and 0 multiplied by 0, right? So basically we know that most everything that is multiplied by 0 is gonna stay as 0, right? I'm just showing it here because you need to know what's happening. You can't guess, in mathematics. You need to be able to understand things from their layer by layer, from step by step, for you to be able to understand it. So let's go, let's move on. So it's 21 multiplied by x plus 3 multiplied by 2x, right? So we see what, we see a trend, we see like terms, we see things that can what, they can cancel out. They can cancel out only if they what, if there is a what, there is a multiplication between these two. If there is a what, there's addition, or there's any operation, either division or no, if there's any operation, whether it's addition or subtraction, you cannot divide. If let's say for example there was what, there was 1 here, in questions like that you can't divide. I've seen people doing scary things. You see, you can't divide, you only divide when there was what, there's multiplication throughout. So let's continue, guys. So there isn't any addition, it's only multiplication. So it's gonna be 2, then cancel out at this other 2. How many 2x doesn't go into x one time? How many 2x does go into x one time? So we are left with what? We are left with 21 x plus 3, then minus. So the same concept here is what, it's multiplication throughout, right? There isn't any operation sign. So we see what, we see x plus 3. How many times does x plus 3 go into x plus 3? One time. How many times does x plus 3 go into x plus 3? One time. So we're left with what? We're left with 2, and 2x is equals to 0. We've already solved this because we said anything multiplied by 0, it's gonna spit out 0. So yeah, so let's solve out. It's gonna be 21x, then 21 multiplied by 3, 21 multiplied by 3, it's what, it's 63. It's gonna be plus 63 minus 4x, it's equals to 0, because 2 times 2 is 4, right? So it's 21 minus 4. Now it's 21 minus 4, which is 17x. So yeah, so 21 minus 4, because these are like terms, right? So 21 minus 4, which is 17x, plus 63 is equals to 0, right? So looking for the value of x is equals to minus 63. So x is equals to, okay, what am I doing? So we're gonna divide by what? We're gonna divide by 17, since we're looking for the value of x. So divide by 17, divide by 17. So therefore x is equals to minus 63 over 17. So yeah, guys, that's it. So when you take this question again, when you take this the value of x that you have gotten here, and then you want to substitute it with the original equation, which means this word, which means this one, right? When you take this and you put it there, it needs to give you what? It needs to give you the answer. Your answer is equals to 0. Let's check. So it's gonna be what? It's gonna be 17 over, no, it's gonna be 17x plus 63 is equals to 0, and then it's gonna be 17 in the place of what x you put minus 63 over 17 plus 63 is equals to 0. So this cancels out, because what, this is the numerator, this is over 1 basically. So how many times is 17 going to 17 one time? How many times is 17 going to 17 one time? Right. So you left it minus 63 plus 63, which is equals to 0. Minus 63 minus 63 plus 63 is actually indeed 0. So we've proven that the left hand side is equal to the right hand side. Guys, I'm gonna leave these answers, these questions for you, these ones. I'm gonna leave these two for you to do at home. Please do it at home. If you have any questions on the topic, you can comment in the description below, or else you can, yeah, that's all that you can do now for now. Okay, or else you can follow me on my social media pages. On my social media platforms, I do have WhatsApp. No, not WhatsApp. I do have Facebook. You can contact me on Facebook or else on TikTok. Yeah, this is where I'll be posting this kind of videos. Basically, this is the start out. We're gonna see where this takes us, because I understand a lot of people are running away from mathematics. They're going to maths literacy. Not that we have anything wrong with maths lit, just that we need more engineers. We need more people that are gonna solve big problems. People that are critical thinkers. People that think on their feet. Right. So yeah, guys, I'm motivated to do mathematics. This is one way of me motivating you. I can't see any other way and any other way around what I can do about it. So yeah, thank you for listening, thank you for your time, and thank you for everything.
I think I think you captured it very well. There is no any better explanation than the explanation you have given.